A couple of weeks ago, we took a look at some Easter eggs that wouldn't put up with any of your nonsense. But it turns out that there are plenty more examples of games that didn't like your attitude. Here are 11 more video game Easter eggs that destroy you for being a jerk. Now, when you begin Skyrim, you literally have nothing to your name. No weapons, clothes, or magical powers. It's just you and your two fists. The first settlement that you come across in this sorry state will probably be Riverwood, which seems to be a pretty chill place to call home. Well, you might think that given how relaxed everyone in Riverwood seems, that you might be able to try out the only weapons that you have to your name. Your bare hands. Now, of course, you don't want to go and punch a settler. That would be crazy. But what about this lonely chicken that sits right in your path? Surely people won't be that upset if you give it a smack. Well, you'd be wrong.
Ismir, you won't leave here alive.
You won't leave here alive. Put you down. I'll kill you. I'll carve you into pieces.
So for some reason, hitting this chicken just once will cause the whole of Riverwood to turn on you. And I do mean everyone. People will run from their houses just for a chance to take a swing at the man who punched a chicken. Speaking of chickens, everyone and their mum knows that hitting a chicken in these Zelda games is never a good idea. Well, that is unless you want this to happen. Apart from attacking chickens, there isn't much that Link can do that makes other people mad. After all, he's a hero in a Nintendo game. Saying that, there is something that Link can do that is definitely frowned upon. You see, if you manage to grab an item and reach the door whilst the shopkeeper has his back turned, which is pretty damn hard by the way, then you'll be able to keep the item at no charge, though the game does try to guilt trip you. Now, if that was our only punishment for stealing, I'd say it was worth it. The thing is, our actions always have consequences, and the next time that you visit the shop, this will happen. So the shopkeeper will get the last laugh as he straight up murders you the next time you set foot in his shop. I mean, you could argue that stealing a shovel doesn't really warrant Link's death, but hey, I don't make the rules. Another game that is home to a grouchy shopkeeper is Enter the Gungeon. Though to be fair, we do give him a reason to be annoyed. The shop in Enter the Gungeon is a safe space. No enemies will spawn and you can spend your hard-earned money to increase your odds of survival. Well, you could do that, or you could start shooting in the shop, which will of course make the shopkeeper very, very angry. So shooting in the shop will rightfully anger the shopkeeper, so much so that he ends your run there and then. Now, you may remember that the last time we covered Easter eggs that call you out for being a jerk, that we made some grade A dad jokes in Ghost 1.0. It was harmless fun and nobody was offended. Well, in You Don't Know Jack 2015, that isn't quite the case. You see, much like Ghost 1.0, before beginning a game you need to choose your name. But if you choose this, the game's host won't be best pleased.
Player one, you think you're real funny, don't you? F me? F you. I'm taking away $1,000. Player one, okay, telling me to f myself once is one thing, but twice? Hey, guess what? Minus 50,000. No, you know what? Not enough. Minus 50,001. That's how you're starting. Minus 50,001. Player one? Okay, look, I'm not just gonna be repeatedly told to myself. So, tell you what I'm gonna do. You're getting a goat. Yeah, that's it. Game over. Here's a goat. Enjoy.
I mean, in terms of punishments, a free goat isn't that bad. Something else that we covered in that last video was the demon rabbit that would appear in Shadow Warrior if you killed one too many rabbits. Well, in Call of Duty 4, a demon rabbit won't appear, but your chances of survival are just as low. During the All Gillied Up mission, which is just a glorified trailing mission where all you do is follow Captain Macmillan, you come to an area with a wild dog. Now, what you're supposed to do here is ignore the dog and keep your distance, which will allow you to pass the dog bite-free. Well, if you're some sort of psycho and shoot the poor pooch, this will happen.
That doesn't sound good.
So shooting this dog will cause the K9 Avengers to make an appearance, and maul either you or Captain Macmillan to death. And let's be fair, you definitely deserved it. Now, I don't know about you, if a game gives me the option to skip a tutorial, 9 times out of 10, I will. I like to think that I learn by doing, even though I almost certainly will have to refer to the controls at some point to learn what a certain button does. Well, in Banjo-Kazooie, tutorial duties are handled by Bottles the Mole, and like any good tutorial-giving mole, he gives you the option to skip the basics. The thing is, if you change your mind and realise that you do in fact need Bottles' services, then you can just give his mole hill a smack, though it seems that Bottles is a stubborn little so-and-so. So if you continue to wind Bottles up, he will threaten to delete your save. Though given that we are at the beginning of the game, I don't know why Banjo seems so scared. Now, one of my favourite things to do in any game is to mess with a narrator. I'm guessing I'm not alone, as an entire game, in the form of the Stanley Parable, was created with narrator annoying shenanigans being its whole premise. Well, in 2D beat 'em up Icy, you can do exactly that. Of course, you begin by following the disembodied voice's instructions until you reach a bridge, where you can cause the narrator to have a bit of a breakdown.
There seems to be a console that will activate the photon bridge. Icy moves to activate it. Icy slips off the edge of the cliff. Icy is absolutely positive that the only way to cross the ravine is by activating the photon bridge. For some unknown reason, Icy insisted on jumping into the ravine. She didn't realize that she has to press a button to activate the bridge. Icy finally understands how to activate the photon bridge. Using the bridge, she will certainly have no need to jump into the ravine again. What? You jumped again? God, why did you jump down there again? You have zero common sense. Wait, don't panic. There's something I wanted to ask you. Are you messing with me? I told you time after time. It couldn't be any more simple. All you had to do was walk over there and press the button. Just walk slowly, press the button. Why do you insist on jumping over and over? I've never met anyone like you, refusing to acknowledge my advice. Don't you know this is an action game? Your main goal is to go kill monsters. Don't you get that? You know, you shouldn't jump into ravines over and over, right? I can't be your guide if you won't listen. You get that, right? Trust me, if you continue like this, your story will only end tragically. I'll stop scolding you for now. I trust you know how to act from here on out, yes? Let's try this again. Ha! Well done. You win, you win. I never considered this possibility before. What do I do now? Yes, I could probably make a few changes. Make a temporary area, add a few new things. Right, and a surprise. Let's take a look at what's ahead. Remember, you absolutely must listen to my directions. Ah, you see? I even prepared a treasure chest for you. Do you think I would let you struggle without giving you any rewards? Open it, if you want to. I mean, you don't have to.
So after a stern telling off, you are for some reason rewarded with a bunch of money. It's like grounding a kid for bad grades and then buying them a PlayStation 5 if they fail again. It just doesn't make sense. Oh, and for those wondering, the narrator actually removes the bridge from the game after this, so you can't prolong his suffering. Now, the Deadpool game is full of moments that are just begging you to do the opposite of what you were told. But one of my favourite examples is during the game's first stealth section. You see, during this section, you have to take down Mr. Sinister's goons quietly. And if you know anything about Deadpool, he and quietly don't match. So if you fail to stealthily dispatch the enemies, eventually the game will do this.
Be stealthy this time, jackass. Come on now. Assassinate these fools quietly. Okay, now this is getting silly.
All right, enough. That's it. Let's just skip on ahead, shall we?
So after giving you plenty of chances to do the right thing, the game just skips the stealth section entirely. I mean, it's not like you're missing much, but now you won't get to play a part of the game that you paid for. Now, when I first loaded up Bad Boys 2 on the PS2, I thought it was the wrong game. I mean, I have no idea who this man is, and don't even get me started on the voice acting.
A Kevlar vest. Just the thing for a nice safe walk into Miami.
Considering how bad your aim is, man, I have to agree.
Well, if the Wish.com version of Martin Lawrence really grinds your gears, you can start taking shots at him, with predictable results.
Hey, screw you, man. Goddamn crazy-ass piece of crap. You keep shooting me there, how am I supposed to hear my wife moan?
As if you ever made a lady moan.
You kidding me? Hard to make her stop. No, that's too much to cope with, man. I just want to go home now. Whoa! Wait a sec. Why I can think so clearly now? Why I figured everything out.
So, while saying a whole bunch of corny dialogue, Marcus Burnett will gun down Mike Lowry. If I'm honest, the main reason I included this here is because the whole world needs to see the Bad Boys game that doesn't actually feature the Bad Boys. Right, let's end today's video with Halo 1. Now, after the Force tutorial, which is painfully long, whereas Bottles when you need him, the alien shit hits the fan and your ship is boarded by enemies. Without a gun, Master Chief makes his way to the bridge where he meets the super important, must not kill under any circumstances, Captain Keyes. Keyes will even be so kind to give Chief a weapon, which he will definitely regret, as if you shoot Keyes at the first chance you get, this will happen.
What the hell are you doing?
Security to the bridge. The Master Chief has gone rampant. Take him down, boys.
Bad guys! Here comes more! Sorry.
So a team of nigh-on invincible Marines will spawn with the sole purpose of taking Master Chief down. Now, I spent a long time just trying to kill one of these Marines, you know, to send a message, but I failed. So perhaps next time you'll think twice before murdering the captain of a ship in front of his crew. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then a like is really appreciated. If you are a fan of Easter eggs and secrets in games, then perhaps consider subscribing for more videos just like this one. Thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.